Hello, everyone. I think we're online. Just give me, please, 1 second. I will put on the settings, which I need for this webinar. Yeah, and switch off my phone. So now I think everything is fine and I can start. So, yeah, I think I'll just start. My name is Ilya, from AWACS. The team of professionals who believe that working with digital marketing data helps to drive better insights. I would like to welcome you on this webinar. And we've got a lot of registrations so far. And now I see that people are joining us on the webinar. And yeah, I've seen the first comments. So we are really welcome you today. Just want to make sure that I sound well. Please, for those of you who are on the call, please send plus in the comments just to be sure that everything is fine with the share screen and with my voice. I still see no pluses in the chat. Please, somebody can you write anything? And yeah, I've seen the first one. Thank you very much for that. So people are still joining us, but the time is limited. So I think we should proceed with this with our topic. So our topic today is about, it's called From Chaos to Clarity. And we're gonna speak today about data blending and some use cases, but it more will be about the use cases and how actually we react on the fallacies on these use cases in terms of marketing based on the data that we prepare. It's more than on a technical side. So I will be speaking about more on the marketing side today, and I'll explain later why. So to start, I would like to spend 1 minute for a short intro about myself. My name is Ilya. Once again, I'm a managing partner of AWACS. Actually, I'm responsible for several business projects in AWACS, but on the other hand, I work as a solution architect. So my experience will be about presenting and solving several specific tasks for new projects. In AWACS, we have a belief that every decision maker has to deal with the data freely without any kind of bottlenecks, like software or resources. And for the past years, we provided for more than 2,000 companies our platform, which helps to blend the data and make fully informed data-driven decisions to our clients. So at this moment, I would like to have a small step back and share with you what we had previously on AWACS. We are not a TV series, by the way, but it's at the same time, our webinars are connected to each other. And I'm sure that after today's webinar, you will quit with open questions about like how to do some cases on your project. At the same time, you might find the answers writing me back to the contacts I will leave at the last slide, and writing to our company, or looking on the webinars that we already watch the webinar that we already have had in previous in past. So what webinars did we have actually? What can help you to do better data analytics? So first, how to collect data and to stay GDPR compliant. How to simplify clickstream and transformations into valuable analytics-ready form. How to use the data, how to model conversions and stay efficiency in post-cookie world, and how to eliminate blind spots. So all of this may help you to understand the full picture of what we can help you with, and how to make a fully informative data-driven analytics and marketing. So on this stage, let's get back to our topic. If you're here today as a digital marketing leader and you set the task to digital analysts, or if you're a digital analyst who want to bring more accuracy to the business decisions, or if you are a C-level executive and you want to make data-driven decisions about your business and to grow your business based on the right answers for the right questions, then you can take some time, grab some coffee or tea, and join next 30-40 minutes to speak about this topic. So what we are actually going to cover today. First, step aside. This is a picture of the marketing funnel, and I was told that putting this picture on the slide in the beginning of the presentation will increase the conversion for the marketers to their attention to this topic. So I hope this wasn't a joke. So I've put the marketing funnel, beautiful marketing one, the most beautiful marketing funnel I could find. And actually, what we're going to cover today, what we're going to speak today. First, I would like to challenge, why do we actually trust in bringing data together, like CRM, ads, website? Why do we actually trust that it is a very important step? How do we set up traps for ourselves, relying on a limited view angle on the data, so we actually don't export and don't prepare the right data for our decisions? And how to expand the data exploring angles on the marketing sales funnel. And at the end, I will dive into some technical side and explain what is data blending, how actually make this data blending great again for your marketing reports. So let's start with the first block. Let's start with the question why. Why do marketers actually trust in bringing all the data together, and that's building a picture, end-to-end picture of their marketing and sales will empower their work and results? That's a good question. Let's discuss it. First opinion which came into mind is maybe to empower the ad performance and bid optimization platforms. So there are several like ad platforms like Facebook, like Google, which need signals to optimize better their campaigns. But actually, what we know by now so far, online signals are much more valuable than any other CRM signals. Costs are even don't need in this kind of tasks. So actually the online signals like model conversions, enhanced conversions are really more valuable, way more valuable to optimize the campaigns, because surprisingly, there in most of the cases there are not enough CRM signals that could help bidding platforms and to optimize the campaign automatically. So actually, this bringing all the data together does not help with this task. Maybe to make better decisions and make them faster in order to automate marketing report and marketing management workload. That's a good question and a good point, and it's very close to truth. At the same time, I would like to challenge it, and there are several cons to this point. First cons is that in many cases, when we're talking about decisions that making inside the marketing department, the reporting and the automation part are dedicated to the partner, the agency or analytical partner, which helps with the reporting. And actually, marketing does not really care about if the report were prepared automatically or by manual export and blending of the data. So in this case, marketers are actually they want to report by a specific time, and any other things they don't care about. The second cons is like, okay, we automated the reporting process, but there are something we still have to do to make a better decision. So standalone reporting and automation of this reporting doesn't help to make better decisions. It's just the automation. We've seen several cases where the automation process works fine, but the problem is that it's not used. So this is not the main reason why actually we are talking about bringing data end-to-end together. And the main reason, in our opinion, and what we face in different projects, is to make business commitments timely. So you may hear a lot, you've heard a lot about approving marketing plans, about allocating budget by channel groups, turning off the ads. This is the decisions that usually are not made inside marketing department. They are made within the department sync with the sales, finance, maybe with agency, because like when, for example, turning off the ads will affect sales processes and the finance processes as well. So actually bringing this data together, the most helpful bring the all data together is to make better business commitments. And on the next slide, I will highlight one case which we actually faced not once. And this case we'll try to explain like how the communication process goes. And this case I will use through the next blocks of my presentation as a proof, or like I'll be returning to this case again and again. So this case, you may know, it's a common one, like planning marketing activities in terms of sales. If you're working in marketing, you may face that a lot. So here we see a wise business leader who is like looks really wise in terms of how is he sitting, and highly loaded marketing leader who works with his coffee on the table, and like they are in a communication. So business leader comes with a request, like, you may know that we are planning significant investment in updating our product line, and we have limited budget for the ads launch and we have to be accurate in planning the return in confirmed orders. So actually, business have a budget. They want to reinvest this budget, the return out of this budget. So, and the return they calculate in confirmed orders. And actually, they ask marketing to prepare that plan, accurate plan, in terms of sales, in terms of confirmed order. Marketing leader may reply that they actually know that it's a common task. We've made it before. For this task, I need to check on the target audience. We can reach out seasonality, and of course, to understand the conversion rates and cost per orders, we need to look on the past campaigns to get this information, because it's only internal information. We cannot get it from the market. And the question to analysts is like, could you please provide a post-campaign report for the past month to compare and to get the conversion rates and CPOs out of this report, and to make this plan and provide this plan to the business? So actually, when analyst receives this kind of task, he won't be sure what to do. But let's assume that they discussed all the inputs to this task, and analyst tells that, okay, I have all the data. I know what is the funnel I need to export data for, and I know the blending keys and all the information I have by now. And on this part, we're moving to the next block, where we discuss what could go wrong with this case. Why actually we can export the data but get the bad results at the end with our campaigns. And this will be topic about the averages. I'll explain what is this. So let's get back to our analyst. He has all the information, as we discussed, he has all the information to build a good report and to provide a post-campaign report for this particular request. What does he have? First, he knows the objects for which he needs data: costs, visitors, conversions, confirmed orders, revenue. These are the objects. He actually understands the keys to blend this data, to export and to blend this data. So what are his steps? First, to export the costs, he would like to have an access to APIs for several platforms like Google, like Facebook, like LinkedIn, and export the data in the structure with UTM parameters with dates. And that's the first step. The next step, he also has Google Analytics and its APIs or export to Google BigQuery, where he can export other types of data like visitors, conversions, which he needs to build this funnel, to prepare the data for this funnel. And also, he has no need to export any kind of IDs. He can export the data in UTM parameters and dates. And for the next part, he also needs, for the bottom of this funnel, he also needs orders and revenue. And this could be taken from the CRM, from, for example, Salesforce or whatever CRM they have in their company. And this data could be exported by order ID and date and blended by order ID with conversions. So it's kind of some kind of a simple task. But actually, the clue here is what I've didn't mention so far is the date range. So actually, we know from this case that analysts heard about that he needs a post-campaign report for the past month. And actually, he exports all the data for the past month with all the objects, all the entities, has this dates limited by this period. What can go wrong here? So actually, this represents us the following picture. When we are talking about all the entities and one date range, it looks like a photograph cropped photograph with a limited angle, view angle. And like actually the picture might be different. Picture might have another information in it that will help us to make other decisions. So actually we now are limited by our view to our data, and the data is still the same. So what can go wrong? What is wrong with these averages? So actually, when we're talking about exporting the average data, it limits our view because it gives the answer on the result on a particular date range. So for example, in our case, we have costs for October, costs, visitors which came in October, conversions which we acquired in October, and orders which were finalized in October. But marketing actually doesn't work like this. An average gives us only the answer on the result, but doesn't explain the length of achieving this result. A simple explanation. For this data range, we have in this path, we can capture only costs and visits, and they will be in our report. Conversions, orders will be absent here. And you may say that, okay, but we, at the same time, we get this average, and we, of course, have another path. We just finish it in this particular period, but started earlier. And that's true. But the key point is that this path and this effort, like that you made in a specific period and that you've taken the budget for, doesn't align with this result, doesn't align with these orders, and doesn't align with this revenue. It is a different effort which you don't have to analyze right now. You are looking for this to analyze this effort. The same relation for all campaign types. So the same case, but in a different angle. Like imagine that you have in your plan where you want to spend the budget, different types of campaigns like display and paid search at the same time. And of course, you may know that like the context about these campaigns. Display ads may work with a cold audience and acquire this audience in a longer period of time. Paid search actually usually, sometimes if it's retargeting, usually works with a hot audience which has needs right now. So they don't actually, when we're exporting the average, we smooth the difference between this type of marketing effort. And if our look back window, for example, was only for 30 days for both, that means that this display ad campaigns, we won't get enough data for this type of campaign. So that is a second common problem. And the third one is unexpected data preparation mistakes. So actually, this is not, I'm not throwing anything to analysts, so they do their work okay. But look at this table. You have here just the numbers and the funnel steps. And the problem is that if you didn't mention something when you exported the data, then it's hard to find this mismatch if the data is not correct or not answering your requirements. For example, we had a case when in one project, there were a new requirements for one of the steps of the funnel for SQL size profile. And there were some regions were deleted out of this profile, and analysts just didn't know about this information, so he exported data with dot regions, and actually that distorted the conversion rates in this kind of export. So sometimes there are data preparation mistakes which are hard to find, and analysts sometimes are not responsible for that mistakes. They didn't know some inputs about this data that he needs to export. So working with aggregates is hard. So we discussed the most common cases that we've faced in our project, in projects that like we were working, where the marketing plan is a big deal. What planning marketing activities is a big deal. But what actually it affects on in terms of ad performance. So let's get back to our conversation between business and marketing. So the campaign, the plan was accepted, the budget was accepted, and the campaign started. After the month of running this campaign, business and marketing decided to check the results and what they see actually in comparison with plan and fact. They see that the budget was spent on the ads, the visitors were acquired, but the online conversions, confirmed orders, revenue are actually not meeting their targets. Why can that be? So let's discuss why it may happen. So first clue is that, okay, the planned CPO and CRs based on the averages wasn't a great idea. So actually it's kind of non-comparable metrics when we're taking something from the average from the past and we're trying to launch the campaign and compare with its conversion rates. It's non-comparable metrics. Second thing, the effect of the launch is likely to come later. So we just see the picture which also cropped. And the business expects to later than business expects to see. So marketing at this time can say that, okay, we've spent the budget and we have to wait for the results to come, have to spend other budgets to support this this campaign, but this expenditure will return a bit later. And that actually wasn't it's not aligning to the business request. Business requested the accurate planning and they expect to see it not later, but they run some investments and they expected to see the confirmed order and the revenue at the time that they planned. So business might not be happy with that feedback. And the worst case which could happen here is that the plan has to be revised while the campaign is in progress. So it could take a lot of efforts from the management team and actually will ruin the campaign. So we also seen some cases where business just stops the campaign when they see that it doesn't work and they see the view from the different angle. So realize that the campaign doesn't work. They stop losing their marketing budgets, but at the same time, they're losing their time. So now we're moving forward to the block where we explain the expanding the data, exploring angles. And I may spoiler some of the points here, but you may know that one of the most popular case to reverse the angle of how you look on the data is a cohort reporting. So actually, what is a cohort? For those of you who don't know what is a cohort, didn't work with them, it's a group of subjects who share defining characteristics, and usually in marketing, it is a campaign or the traffic with one of the dimensions, one of these characteristics is date. So for example, acquisition date, conversion date, order date. So it unites this group of people and we can analyze them, what's happening with this group. And actually, this cohort reporting, you can see here on the left that it is a cohort reporting from Google Analytics. Our first approach to speak to clients in this case was like, okay, you are not happy with how you plan and you're not happy with the conversion rates you actually receive, but let's reverse this angle and look on the Google Analytics reports. And while offering this, we understood why it's actually not working and why they are rarely used. Not only Google Analytics reports, but most of the cohort reporting. There are some points. First point is that the entities, the objects in popular services are really compatible with the actual funnel. So for example, what actual case we would like to ask here? What ads that what ads that we spend the money on return in what amount of completed orders? And the trick here is that ads, you may see them in Google Analytics by exporting there, but they are not matching with visits. So that you cannot calculate, you cannot understand how much you spend on a particular visit. You just have a different table with with the costs, and they're not matching with visits. And on the other hand, there are no completed orders in Google Analytics. You also can export it there, but it also not matches with the path of the user. Second thing, it is time consuming to switch between averages and cohort reports. So actually, okay, like we have a new report, it's a bit different. It has some rows. We have to make decisions and how to make decisions. So the problem is not the switching part, but the problem is how to make decisions in a two-way angle. The third one is no business inputs are applicable. So for example, the business input could be marketing plan, where marketing plan is actually something that can tell you if you're doing well or not. So marketers usually want to see in one place the investment, the result, and actually are they meeting these requirements or not. And low flexibility. So sometimes in popular services, there are not enough filters for filtering cohort reporting. So we were trying to find a solution here. And yep, wait, we found another dashboard. And you may say, okay, you just 15 seconds ago, you were telling us that dashboard, a new view on the data is time consuming and it actually could not work. Yes, and it was an experiment, and in several projects it worked, this way of working with the data. So before I'll jump into this report and show you like how to work with this kind of view, I would like to highlight the questions, what we've been discussing so far, once again. So the question that we want to ask to the dashboard is how our actual investments to the new ads, to this plan we defended, and by what plan we launched our campaign, returned in confirmed orders. And actually, when should we expect this return? And actually, are we meeting our target, our plan's target, or not? And there are much more questions, but let's focus on this. I'll switch to the report. Just give me please a second. So I hope you can see it. And looking at this report, give me please a minute. I'll explain what you see here. So here are the entities which are related to e-commerce business model. If you have a different business model in your business is different, for example, SaaS or finance, there will be different entities. But our example is on e-commerce. So here are the entities. I'll name them: ads, sessions, visitors, conversions, and orders, which actually explains how business works from the marketing perspective, of course. Every entity has its own date range. So that means we can combine different different views for different questions. Like in our case, we need to add specific campaign where we spend the money on in, for example, January. And the perspective for orders cannot be limited only by January. It could be limited by like 3-4 months. We need to understand how actually this investment works in the length. So right now on your screen, you see that every entity has a really limited by January. So no other dates or periods are on this. So actually it is the same as we've been criticizing. So it says the averages, average spent sessions, visitors by January. To notice here, it is a demo data, so it doesn't have anything with the real client's data, but it's pretty close to real client's data. So getting back to our case, we have the ads, we have made a specific campaign, but let's focus now on the full expenditure. We have the spend, and we want to see how it return in different periods of time. Before we go there, you can see here that we have spent this amount and we received 6,000 orders in January for this launch. And actually, when we refresh this data and add February here, we see that there are additional 1,000 conversions from this investment came later in February. And the cost per order is lower, the conversion rate is higher. So like actually it still doesn't meet the requirements in plan, but it's better, it looks better. And the main question here, and to jump here, of course you can do it for the particular campaign and see the content the content which you created, the keywords which leads us to this kind of order. So that's pretty flexible. But the main question we want to discuss here is actually, does the market do we really should think that the marketing works better than we expected? So shall we communicate this to business? And actually, we should remember the thesis from the previous slides that if the marketing will communicate that, of course, we are doing better, but you have to wait, then business still won't be able to plan their investments to other departments in a correct way. So how we actually can communicate this case? Well, in the cases we discussed with the clients, they communicated like this. So they have an investment to a campaign in terms of like, there are some specific investment, specific amount of money they spend. And they communicate that in January, we spent to this campaign this amount, received this amount conversions, and in February, we should expect this amount of conversions. So based, of course, on the previous campaigns. And that means that there's no only one average angle of view on your campaigns, and you have to understand they're in the dynamics and in the length. So the conversion rate will be different, and of course, the cost per order will get lower, but in time. And actually, that is how we can communicate it to business. So the return on investment from your investments in January will be like this way, this amount, 6,000 orders, and that's how you should plan your investment in other departments. Although we will get another conversions from this budget in February. So this budget also influences on this amount of conversion. And then like you can see that there is another room for investment appears. So of course, it could be communicated in terms of cost per order, changing cost per order, changing conversion, and the amount of these orders. So that is an example, and I'm trying to get back to my presentation. So at this point, like this is just one of use case. You can make others, for example, ask when specific campaign like were acquired new visitors and how these visitors worked, how these visitors react and communicate you with your website, within your website, how they actually return investment into these visitors. And you can combine different questions, not only about spender and orders, but at the same time you can do same exercise comparing the conversions and orders, because it's not obvious that different types of conversions, different regions of conversions can have different conversion rate and different length of order to be confirmed. So that is something that you can combine in different angles and see and feel yourself more flexible working with your data. So if it's something that you want to do in your company, then I think I owe you some technical part. If there are analysts on the call, it might be interesting for you how to make it in your company for your data. And there are some tips. First, and it's the most important in my opinion, you don't think about owning API scripts, but owning a data model. What's different? So actually owning API scripts and making some transformation to blend this data in the report, it's something that simplifies your process of working with the data and won't allow you to make this kind of flexible dynamic reporting. This is a model, an example of model on data model, and at the end of the last slide, I saved a link for a document with SQL queries and this document and the model in this document. So this is a model which actually shows the relations between different objects, the objects which like you should think your data, how you should think about your data. And the data blending is different. In the first case, what we were discussing to prepare the averages, there was just one data blending step. So you need to export data and then blend it to in one report. Here is actually 3 steps of data blending. First is to export data from different APIs and blend it into the object, for example, advertising. The most common case is to export data from APIs of ad platforms and then prepare the transformation which creates this actual object. The second step of data blending is to blend according to those relationships with other closer objects, like, for example, traffic sources, sessions. One of the most common cases is to calculate the cost of the session, which you actually spend the money on and acquire. And the last point is the data blending for the report, which I've shown you. And actually, the flat table with the final data preparations looks like this after the final data preparations. I will not explain it like every row here, I would just love to focus on very specific moments. First, from preparing this table. First is business inputs and targets. They should be in this table as well. And this is this plan impressions, plan clicks, plan costs, plan completed orders. They are taken from different objects. So we're previously blended and like prepared in one transformation, like plans, because they appear in different objects in your model. The second is dates. So I can see here at least 5 different dates for every entity has their own date. Every row has its own date. So actually, it really helps to create this kind of cohort reporting when you have this like ads date, transaction date, and then you can like be very flexible. And the third, last but not the least, is the values which should be distributed by entities in order for totals to converge. So a simple case, there could be relation one to many. For example, one ad could lead to many sessions, and you have the cost for this ad, and you have 3 sessions after that. For example, the session was this visitor came 3 times using one UTM. And actually, if you use the one-to-one relation here, then the totals will be counted as 3 times. So you've paid 3 times for this ad. And what we actually do here is distribute this cost to the sessions. So in order so that at the end, the totals should converge in the reports. And the step, like how we actually perform these projects and how to simplify it with OWOX. There are several steps. I'll name it, but like if you want to hear about this more and you are interested, I'll show you how you can know about this more. So where we actually as a product help with this process of data planning. First, we have automatic pipelines to actualize the data in ad platform from ad platforms and CRMs. Second part is that we prepare and collect GDPR compliance data compatible with GA4 streaming. More to that we discussed in one of the webinars, which link I've added at the beginning of this presentation. Out-of-the-box transformations that you can see here on this moving screen, but like actually out-of-the-box transformations are prepared for different industries in the product, and they can help to blend siloed data from different sources. Some of them are specified, some of them are unspecified for the specific industry. For example, blended ad spend, the transformation which helps to combine all the Google ads, all the Facebook accounts and data from them into one object advertisement. This is what this transformation does. And of course, the workspace, which helps, which you see on the screen, which helps you to view your data flow in a very convenient way and understand how the transformations are working, are helping each other to prepare at the end to create this final preparations and prepare the dashboard. So I really hope that it was worth to be here on this webinar today. If yes, please write it in the comments. I will be happy to hear anything from your side. And if you want to get the transformations in your data that you deserve, looks like on the case what I've presented to you, then you can use this link and leave your contacts for the demo, which actually works like this. So we schedule a call with you, with one of our data experts. We show you the overview and discuss specific cases and the workflow for your project. At the end, we share with you like the workflow, how to achieve higher return on investment or lower ad spend with the accurate reporting and insights, and customize a solution for your project. So of course, it might not be for everyone, and we admit this, but for those of you who are interested, we shall chat first to understand if like our product really could meet the requirements for your case. On this end, I would like to finish my presentation. We still have some minutes for the questions, and you can write down them to the chat. I'll read it. I'll read them out loud and answer. Also, I've prepared some links which can help you to get more information about what has been said so far. For analysts, this is the best link, the data model schema and SQL templates for Google Analytics 360 and Google Analytics 4. It is a helper, so you can use it. It's for free, just you have to go through the link. And for marketers, it is an article about how to eliminate blind spots in your marketing, which is nowadays a very important topic. So also you can contact me via LinkedIn or via email. I will be happy to answer all the questions. If you didn't listen it in live, this webinar, and wanted to ask questions later. So the question, how the transformation work? Do we need to upload our data to OWAX? Great question, thanks for that. So the transformation actually works in OWAX, but they're working with the data in Google BigQuery. So if you're familiar with the product, I didn't challenge this product this day on this webinar, because like we've had a lot of different webinars about Google BigQuery, articles about Google BigQuery. So if you actually collect data in Google BigQuery or planning to do so, and with GA4 it's make more sense, then answering your question, I can tell that we take, as you can see here on this example, we take the data which are or uploaded by our pipelines to Google BigQuery or already in Google BigQuery. So we need just an access to this data, and then we can prepare these transformations and transform the data into objects. So no need to upload data to OWAX if your data are already in Google BigQuery. How it can appear in Google BigQuery? It's another question which answered on one of the webinars, which is called Data Collection Google Analytics Alternative. I hope I've answered your question, and if you have any other, I would be happy to answer them. Once again, if you feel that you would like to have more details about your case, to know how the data should be transformed and sent to like Google BigQuery then transformed in with our products in Google BigQuery, and then sent to used in reporting or sent somewhere if you need some kind of a reverse ETL. Then book a demo. We always have a technical guy who can explain you and answer on any case. We will be happy to help here. And even if you don't want to move forward with our products, you at least will have a nice conversation and a feedback or how to do it in a better way. One more question here. Yes, so you can collect data yourselves. That's true. So for example, if you're already exporting data from Facebook to Google BigQuery, or you're using Google Analytics for data export, that means that you can use our product for transformations. So it is possible. So I think I want to thank you for being with us today. And if you will watch it later, I hope that you will write your questions one of the ways via LinkedIn or via mail if you have one, and we would like to know your story about how you would like to blend the data and what is your questions to the marketing, and we'll be happy to help. From this time, I would like to say thank you and goodbye, and see you on our next webinars. Thank you, guys, and have a great end of the week.